Oh, I have some big changes happening here. It's an end of an era and start of a new one. I bought myself a new van to live out of. This is what I got. 2013 Toyota Sienna. Yes, it's used, but it is new to me. So that's why I'm calling it a new van. Let's take a look. So this is it. Again, a 2013 Toyota Sienna, and it is the LE model. And you can see my old home there parked next to it. We'll talk about that, and we'll talk about the new van a little bit here. So straight away, this was not my first choice in a new vehicle, but I have been looking for a new vehicle for about 3 years now. So about 3 years ago, I realized that my old Ram ProMaster City minivan was just not going to hold up, and I was going to have to get something new. It's not repairable, and so over the last 3 years, I've been looking at all the different options of what would be the next vehicle for me to move into. And I'm saying vehicle because I was looking at full-size vans, I was looking at pickup trucks and SUVs, but I just kept coming back to this Toyota Sienna. Pretty much this model year I liked. They're a little bit bigger than the earlier Toyota Siennas, but also they're a little cheaper since it is an older vehicle now. 2013 is kind of crazy. We're into 2025 now, and I have to keep reminding myself that this is kind of an old vehicle now, but it sure doesn't feel like it. This van is in pretty good shape. There are a couple little things that need some attention, but all in all, it's in really good shape. And the more I looked at it, the more I realized that this is the next van that I should get. Now, my first choice would have been another mini cargo van, just like my 2015 Ram ProMaster City. I liked it. It's worked out really well for me over the last 9 years. I've been living very comfortably out of it, and I like the fact that it's a cargo van, meaning it doesn't have any windows. Unlike the Toyota Siennas, which are a big fishbowl of a van with lots of windows around, I haven't found the need to have windows over the last 9 years, so I kind of wanted to keep going with another cargo van that didn't have any windows. But part of the reason that I chose this van and am putting up with the windows is because of Toyota reliability. That's really just it. So over the last 9 years, my only real gripe with my Ram ProMaster City here is the fact that it has just not been terribly reliable. And I've got a lot more issues coming up to deal with this van. Major engine issues, major transmission issues, and lately I've had a bunch more little things crop up. And so it's really the right time just to get rid of this van. This van has served me very, very well over the last 9 years, although I've been very lucky in that Chrysler has done a bunch of recalls that they've taken care of a bunch of the problems. And so I didn't have to pay for any of those problems out of my pocket. But at this point, I'm probably at the end of those recalls that I'm going to qualify for. So the next time that something breaks on this, it's going to cost me a fortune. So I've been really itching to get rid of this old Ram van and move on to something that is much more reliable. And so, like I said, I think that is Toyota. And that's just the research that I've been getting over the last few years looking at this. You know, I've done a ton of research over the last 2 to 3 years looking at all the different options for me for the next vehicle. And like I said before, it just always seemed to go right back to the Toyota Sienna. Just seems to be the best option. So I'm not going to get too much into specifics about exactly the price I paid for the van or where I bought it from. You can guess if you want on that. But I will tell you that I did buy it from a dealer, and I did pay a fair price for it. I didn't get a great deal on it, and I didn't get fleeced on it. I paid fair market value for it. And I wasn't so interested in getting a great deal. I was more interested in getting the right van for me. So that's why I bought this one. I did look at private sellers. There just wasn't a whole lot out there when I was just looking at all the things that I wanted out of the van. So that's why I went ahead and bought it from a dealer. I also did go ahead and buy a van that was a little bit newer than what I was originally looking at. So I do have a small payment on this van. The payments are very low. I was able to put quite a bit of money down on it. I think I put more than 50% down. I'm not so great with numbers, so somewhere over 50% down on it. And so I've got a very small amount that I'm financing to pay it off. And I did check to make sure that there are no prepayment penalties, so I could shop around and get a better deal on it if need be, or I could pay it off sooner if I'm doing well financially. So those are a few of the things that I have from buying from a dealer. Some of the little niceties. One of the others is that the dealer does give me a 3-month warranty. I don't really see anything that is going to be an issue at all with the van that I'm going to need the 3-month warranty, but it's there, and that's a nice little peace of mind, even though I don't think it's really necessary for me to have. Now, the van is in pretty good shape, but there are some little dings in the paint, so I will have to take care of that a little bit. Not too many. The paint's in pretty good shape all the way around. There's just some little dings. It looks to me like the van has spent most of its life outside, or at least the last few years has spent most of its life outside. Like the headlights here, the headlight lenses are a little bit hazed over. So that's another thing that's going to need attention. The other thing are the front tires on this aren't great. They're fine for a little bit, but they're not great. The dealer did replace the rear tires, and I kind of gave them a little bit of grief, like, why did you replace just 2? You should have replaced all 4 of them, and I probably would have picked something other than these Toyos. But these tires are actually pretty good. I looked them up, and they're actually pretty decent tires, so got to put a couple of tires on it some point in the future, but I've got time to do that because these Firestones up front are actually decent. And interior wise, the van is in great shape. The dash and everything looks almost brand new, which is just remarkable to me how good it looks. Considering the age of the van, I would expect to see some cracks and things, but looks like it's been taken care of pretty well. All over it does, but the interior here is especially nice. I think I'm surprised by that just because I've been driving a Chrysler product for the last 9 years, and the difference in the quality of the vinyl and rubber pieces is just night and day between Chrysler and Toyota. So that's probably why this is held up much better than what I'm used to. So there are some significant differences between my old Ram ProMaster City and this Toyota Sienna. For one, there's the glass issue, and I should just explain that I prefer a van that doesn't have any glass because it's just easier to keep the inside comfortable. It's always cool in the summertime, and it's always warmer in the winter with my old van. So that's one of the great benefits of not having glass. And of course, there are ways of covering up the glass to make it pretty much as comfortable as a cargo van would be. But of course, with the cargo van, I didn't have to do anything to that, where with the Toyota here, I am going to have to cover up the windows. So a little bit of extra work. Again, Toyota quality, so I'm okay with doing a little bit of extra work because I'm hoping that this van will hold up a little bit better. Now, this van also has carpets and a headliner and seats. Those are nothing that I had in the old van. The old van was just a plain empty metal box. So I have been already working on getting the seats taken out. From my research over the last couple of years, it all seemed like the seats were easy to take out, but I had some comments saying that they were going to be very difficult, and so I thought I'd start on it last night just in case I ran into some difficulty, and I got all the seats out in 10 minutes. They're still sitting in here, but they're all loose, and it was really not an issue at all. I couldn't believe how easy it was, especially after all the comments of people telling me how difficult it would be. It was just dead easy. And another big difference between this Toyota Sienna and my Ram ProMaster City is the size. And I have been saying for years now that my old Ram ProMaster City has been just about perfect size-wise. But I've also admitted that it would be easier if it were just a little bit bigger. With the Toyota Sienna here, I get that. It is a little bit bigger all the way around than my old Ram ProMaster City, so I'm going to be happy with that little bit of extra space. It's actually quite a bit bigger of a van. The only thing is, with all the vinyl pieces and everything inside, it makes it just a little bit bigger all the way around in here. So I am kind of looking at ideas about maybe removing some of the vinyl pieces and things, but the seats have to go, obviously, so that's where I'm starting right now. And I've already made a Home Depot run, so you see some things in here that I picked up this morning. I actually got up at 5:30 this morning, so it's already been a long day, but I have a much longer day planned. My goal here is to pull the seats out. Since they're unbolted, that's going to be easy. Get those out and get all of the stuff from my old van moved into the new van today. It may be a bit ambitious, but that is what I'm going to try to do. Try to get everything in here all today. We've got some rain coming, and so I'm trying to get it done before the rain gets here. So that's the plan. I'm going to work as quickly as I can to get set up in here so that this will be my new home starting tonight. Unfortunately, I don't have a new vent fan for the new van. You can see the old vent on my old van. That's a full-size RV vent, and I found it to be absolutely necessary. Without a vent and any kind of venting system, I'm not able to run my heater or use my stove inside the van, at least not do it safely and live to talk about it. So I have ordered a new vent for the new van. It'll be delivered in a few days. So until it gets here, I'm going to be a little bit limited on what I'm going to do. So I kind of feel like I'm going to be camping basically in the new van until I get some things set up. But what I'm thinking is I just want to do a really simple build out. I'm basically going to do a no build. I'm just really going to get my stuff in here. And the one thing that I just am going to focus on is just having the van be comfortable. And my old bed will go right into the new van really easily. I remade my old bed maybe last year or the year before, I forget, but I made it with the idea that I will be easily able to move it into the next vehicle. So it's going to go right in the new van pretty simply and easily, and then at least I'll be able to sleep well until I get all the other things that I need to be safe and comfortable. So as long as I can sleep comfortably in the van here, I should be able to be comfortable for a little while, and that'll give me some time to kind of figure out how I want to get the van set up before I do any real building. I do have a bunch of ideas about how I want to set the van up. You have to keep in mind that I have been considering buying one of these Siennas for the last 2 years. So I have a lot of ideas on how I want to set it up, but I think it'll probably be better if I just wait and just live with the van for a little bit to get a feel for how I want to have the layout. I was lucky with my old van in that I was renting a room from a friend, and so I could build it out slowly and try it out. And if something worked really well, then I would keep it. If something didn't work, I'd rip it apart and start over again. And it was pretty easy to build the van out at that time. I don't have that option now, and so I think the better way to do it for me at this point is just to live with the van for a little while before I do any building. I do think that it is much more difficult doing it that way. It's really difficult building a vehicle out while you're living in it because you've just got all the stuff to move around and the dirt and everything to deal with when you are building. So it's not my preferred way to do it, but I think in this case, it is the right way to go. Just take some time and get it together so that I don't have to rip anything apart and redo it later on. So I've got a lot to get to today. I don't know if I'm going to have enough time to get everything done, but I want to get as much as I can done today just so that I can get rid of my old van as soon as possible. And I know there's going to be some questions about what I'm going to do with the old van. Again, I'm not going to get too specific here, but by the time you see this video, I should have the old van gone. I've had a bunch of people reach out and want to buy my old van if I was ever going to sell it, and I'm just not comfortable selling it to anybody with the issues that it has. I just don't think that I'm comfortable having somebody take it on. I know it's going to let somebody down. It's been letting me down quite a bit, and part of the little issue here is, I've talked about the fact that that old van has some major engine problems and some transmission issues as well. But I haven't talked about all of the other things that are wrong with it, and there's a big list. In fact, just over the last month, the brakes have gotten to be really bad. So it's another reason that I'm happy to be getting rid of it very quickly. But it's feeling kind of dangerous. So, if I were to sell it to somebody, it's going to need, at bare minimum, brakes all the way around, a new drive axle in front. That's going to need to be done very, very quickly. Suspension all the way around, and probably top-end mechanical work on the engine, but more likely a whole new engine. And the transmission might be able to get fixed by just flushing it and putting new fluid in it. It's just I didn't want to take that chance because I only have one vehicle, and my vehicle is my home. So some of the mechanics that I would take it to would say, we could flush it, but it may just slip, and so you may need a new transmission at that point. So just looking at that, I thought I'm just going to put it off. And there's all of these things that need to be done right away if somebody were really going to take that van and have it be useful. And so I've been putting up with it just because it's my home. But again, I'm happy to be done with it and moving on to something better and more reliable. It's not feeling safe lately, so it's probably going to go to a wrecking yard, to be honest. But again, it'll be gone by the time you see this video. So I really need to get to work, so I think I'm going to try to end this here. But before I go, there is just one thing I want to say. I want to give a very special thank you to anybody who is a channel supporter, anybody who is a YouTube member or a Patreon supporter. It is because of you that I have been able to buy this van. Without you, I would still be in the old van and be worried sick every day. So I really do thank you for going above and beyond in helping me get out of that old van and get into hopefully something much better. I've always said that the best way to help support me is to just watch my videos. But if you want to go above and beyond, there are the membership options there. So those of you that have been members, thank you for going above and beyond, and thank you for helping me get this van. I am eternally grateful. I don't know what I would have done without all of your help. And so time for me to get to work. If you want to see how I get the van set up in camping mode for the next little while, come back next week and I'll show you. I've got a few ideas. It's why I ran to Home Depot this morning to get a few things to help organize and fit everything from the old van into the new van. I do have more space, but I don't have anything built out in here, so it's going to be a bit of a tight fit. So I'll show you all that next week, Monday, about 4:30 Pacific Standard Time. If you're interested, I'll see you then. We'll make a cup of coffee, because we didn't have a cup of coffee today, did we? So we'll do that next week. And thanks for watching, everybody. I really appreciate it.